and said you'll go to jail if you violate it. And frankly, you know what? Our Constitution is much more important than jail. It's not even close. I'll do that sacrifice any day.
So Donald Trump is apparently like so fired up to violate his gag order and attack witnesses rather than trying to win the case on the merits that he feels like going to prison is standing up for the Constitution. I will remind everyone that gag orders are fully constitutional. They aren't necessary. They aren't generally necessary in the way that they have been in this case because generally people do not willfully violate them as often as he has. But the idea that he would like happily go to prison is something that he has been pushing for some time. A while back, he truthed that he would gladly become a quote modern day Nelson Mandela, which you going to jail for violating your gag order over the hush money payments does not make you Nelson Mandela. I need you to Wikipedia Nelson Mandela. You can maybe learn something, Donald Trump. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the damage report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you. But anyway, he says that he wants it and it might come. You know, just yesterday, the judge found him in contempt for a 10th time and once again warned him that violating the gag order could result in him going to prison. But what's interesting is that he's not the only one who seems like sort of excited about the possibility. Other Republicans have been flooding the airwaves, all of them swearing that it would in fact be a good thing if he were to go to prison. Let's take a look at this.
I hope they do arrest Trump. I hope they put him in jail because that does guarantee that he wins. Please, please, please. This is becoming the greatest third act of any political story.
If this judge actually goes forward and puts him in jail, think about the future for America. It is dark, it is bleak, and I don't think people will react very well to that, Sean.
By what right does an appointed local judge put somebody who is the nominee of their party, former president, in prison? But he's openly told us twice now in 2 weeks that it's going to happen. And I think it's very dangerous at the most basic of levels. Just ask yourself, what would it be like to be Trump in prison in New York?
What would that be like? To be clear, I still don't think that we're going to get there necessarily, but I love how fundamentally elitist that argument is. Like, by what right does this judge have the ability to put a private citizen who used to be president in prison if he's found guilty by a jury of his peers for having committed federal crimes? I mean, I think by the only right is a judge. That's literally what he's supposed to do. If you do not believe that the rich and powerful should have to abide by the law like we do, then just save us all a bunch of time and just say that. Just say that. They're better than us. They are our nobility. You pesky judges, stay away and let them do whatever they want. That is clearly your actual position, Gingrich, as well as Laura Trump and all the rest. So just say that. Just say that. Trey, what do you make of all this? Do you think he wants to go to prison? Would it guarantee his victory, as Greg Gutfeld confidently asserts?
I don't know. That whole dynamic has been confusing to me from the very beginning with them, where they talk about, like, on the one hand, they say, like, the only reason any of this is even happening is because they're trying to torpedo his, chances in the election. The Biden administration, the Justice Department's been weaponized to like keep him from winning the election. That's the only reason any of this is even happening right now. They say that, and then they also say that because of this happening, the result is going to be that he's going to win in a landslide and going to crush it in the election, in November, the more this goes on. So it's like, is it good or bad or what? It's like, they both love and hate everything in equal measure. Well, no, they don't love things. They get they're enraged by things, I guess, all the time. But yeah, the Nelson Mandela part too. I was thinking about that earlier. Like, the fact that he compared himself to him doesn't surprise me at all. But it just says so much about a huge chunk of our country that their version of Nelson Mandela is a spray tan serial philanderer who can't stop complaining on the toilet about being held criminally accountable for, the scandal he engaged in with the slimiest tabloid rag in this country to cover up his myriad sexual indiscretions in the run up to an election. It's like, yeah, that makes you a hero of the people. You and Nelson Mandela, same thing. Mural of him and Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela, all of whom are exactly the same when it comes to being wrongly imprisoned. But there's millions of people in this country who like legitimately feel that way and see it that way. Yeah. And that's truly insane, man. I don't know what else to say about that.
100%. I agree. I don't know for some of them, I don't think that love is really a thing that drives leather. I would describe it more as like being horny and angry.
Thank
I
you.
think it feels in the belly a little bit like love. It's not quite the same thing.
No, I agree. As soon as I said love, I was like, that's not right. These people are not powered by love. But you know what I mean? It's like they talk out of both sides of their mouth is what I'm trying to say. It's like they're both enraged by something, but also like excited by it at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, please let him go to prison. But also they're furious that there's a possibility that he could go to prison, and they feel those things concurrently throughout. Yeah. It's wild. Cognitive dissonance made flesh, you know? That's their whole thing.
Yeah. With Greg Gutfeld, I wish I could know. Does he actually believe that this would get? By the way, I'm not sure that it wouldn't help him in the election. We're a messed up country. Maybe it would, but it seems pretty bold to say that it definitely would win him the election, especially when you like acknowledge, and you have to, that Greg Gutfeld knows that he did it. He knows that every aspect of this story is true. He just doesn't care because he does not believe that, again, the rich and powerful should be subject to the same laws as us. Every one of them knows that he does it. Not a single one of them lays in bed at night and thinks, President Trump, this is lawfare. He's being unjustly persecuted. Nobody thinks that. None of these surrogates for him think that. That's why they're really not even arguing. They're not arguing that it should have been logged as a legal expense or whatever. They're not arguing that he didn't pay it. They're not arguing that he didn't sleep with her. They're just saying it shouldn't matter that he did. That's it. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?